Hey folks, welcome back to Downstairs Den&D, where we play D&D in the den downstairs, not a basement. We are once again joining our party after a well-deserved long rest. Our group just met yesterday at the Yawning Portal and were hired by none other than Bolothamp Goddard to investigate the disappearance of his friend Floon Blagmar. Through a series of investigative scenes, the group ended up in a Xanatharian warehouse or hideout in the sewers of Waterdeep, where they encountered a half-orc mage and a mind flayer torturing Floon for information. They were able to abscond with Floon after dispatching of the mage and fleeing from the mind flayer, and reconvened at the Yawning Portal with Volo and Renair Neberimber, who they also managed to rescue from a understairs cupboard in a Zentarum warehouse earlier in the evening. When asked for their agreed-upon payment of 100 gold coins per member of the party, from Volo, he admits that he is not quite liquid at the moment, and instead gives up the deed to a property in the North Ward, Troll Skull Manor. What you all know about what Baracus knows about Troll Skull Manor, who being the person who has been there before, is that he was once dared to go inside because the place is rumored to be haunted. When that happened, Baracus did. Edison, did Baracus accept that bet?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay.
It's been a while.
So on that night, a couple years ago, several years ago, it's probably when you were more of a child, you had heard whispers of Waterdeep. Elisar, you've probably heard about it as well. Why don't Elisar and Baracus both go ahead and give me history checks? Or, you know what? Before we get into that, let's talk about level 2. Yay! In addition to getting that long rest in, our party is now level 2. So, we are going to introduce another house rule that I like to use in my games for hit points. The players do not have the option of taking the average. They always roll. However, they roll and I roll, and they get the higher of the two. So, let's start with Tennyson Ward. Multi-classing Paladin?
No.
Okay, what are you doing?
Just taking level 2 of Rogue.
Tell me about level 2 Rogue. Anything interesting?
Get Cunning Action, which lets me dash, disengage, or hide as a bonus action.
Very good for Rogue, trying to take as much advantage of that sneak attack as possible.
Rogue is a D8 class, so...
D8 class. What'd you get?
5.
I got you an 8 there, buddy.
Fucking sweet.
Make sure to add your con modifier to that and raise your hit points by that. Don't forget, you all now have 2 hit die.
It takes me
I have
to
also
20.
decided that whenever you guys level up, you get all of your hit die back on that long rest, regardless of how many you started with.
Okay.
Because another house rule that has not come up yet is that you only recover hit die while long resting in a comfortable bed. Something we decided on and talked about in session 0 that just has not come up yet. So, but as this was a level up long rest, you all have 2 hit die. All right. Chris, what does level 2 for a druid look like?
Level 2 is a circle selection, so I'm going to be playing a Circle of the Coast, or Circle of the Land Coast Druid, and also
cool.
Wild Shape.
Ooh, getting that wild shape. And a druid, if I'm not mistaken, is another D8 hit die class?
It is. Oh boy.
I hate to tell you, Chris.
Uh,
I rolled a 2.
wow.
So that's a 2 for you, buddy.
Yeah.
All right.
At
So
least
we
you can
have
turn
our
into a
first
bear.
peek. We saw a very first peek at subclasses just now. LSR, our druid, going Circle of the Land. Demea. We have a bard. What do bards get at level 2?
Well, Billy, they get the Jack of all trades, and then the Song of Rest.
What's Jack of all trades?
You can add half your proficiency bonus, rounded down, to any ability check you make that doesn't already include your proficiency bonus.
You're just
Awesome.
kind
You
of
understand
awesome.
that?
I'm sorry.
Do you understand how that works?
I will.
Cool. It's what, half your level?
Hmm?
Is that what it is?
Add half your proficiency bonus, rounded down, which my proficiency bonus is 2, so.
Oh, okay, so you know how some skills you're proficient in
Mm-hmm.
and some you're not, right? So the ones that you're proficient in, you add 2 onto because that's your proficiency bonus.
Okay, gotcha.
Bards are good at everything. You add half your proficiency bonus to everything.
Okay.
So you will add an additional +1 to everything.
To all of my modifiers.
Now, I'm not sure if that's in a system like Roll20. I don't know if that automatically gets included
I don't think so,
when
because
you get that ability. I don't know.
I don't know. I'll have to play around with it.
And
I've
then you
seen
get
Jack of all
rest.
trades in options somewhere, so there's some sort
Oh.
of. Oh, there's a checkbox in the setting, on the settings tab, at the very bottom under skills. Says Jack of all trades, so it might do something.
Okay.
There you go. And you also got Song of Rest.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about Song of Rest. Everyone should pay attention to this.
I can play some music to help revitalize my wounded allies during a short rest. If I or any friendly creatures whoever can hear my performance regain hit points at the end of the short rest by spending 1 or more hit dice. Each of those creatures regains an extra 1d6 hit points.
Nice.
And
Nice.
Is there a limit to how many times you can do that, or can you do that every short rest?
I believe I can do it at every short rest. I don't see something saying a limit.
In the Eritrea, it's whenever she spends a hit die.
I'm sorry, how did you pronounce that?
Eritrea? Errata? I don't know.
Errata.
You
Better.
had too many R's in that first one.
That's
I
fair.
heard
You
error.
have an extra R at the end somewhere. It's errata.
I think Eritrea
Eritrea.
is that a country in Africa?
It sounds like a fictional country in a sci-fi world.
That's
Eritrea.
fair.
Or a planet.
I want to go there. Yeah,
It's a pretty
it's
name.
Eritrea.
whenever the bard spends one of her hit die, she can do the Song of Rest.
You know what? You know how we're gonna solve this? I have the collector's edition books, which include the errata changes. Da-da-da. Nope. If you or any friendly creatures who can hear your performance regain hit points by spending hit die. Yeah. So yeah, as long as you have an instrument or can sing during a short rest, anyone who spends a hit die gets an extra D6 hit points back on 1 hit die. That's baller.
That's pretty baller.
I love bards. Bards are one of my favorite classes. Demea. Bard is a D6 or a D8 hit die?
D8.
Another D. Y'all are D8 classes.
No.
Ah!
Lucky for you, I got a 7.
Nice.
All right, Baracus.
Oh boy.
Let's talk about that sweet second level sorcerer.
I have 2 sorcerer's points that I can turn into. Right now, I can just turn 2 into an extra spell slot, which is cool. I also get another spell and end of.
And what?
That's it.
Okay. And Demea, you would have gotten an extra spell and an extra spell slot too, right?
Yes.
I'm not gonna make you guys reveal your spells. Let those come out as they do. That's always fun. I don't want to know what they are. Surprise me. Surprise your enemies is more like it. Yeah. And Baracus, our poor D6 hit die class. Let's see what we can do for you, buddy.
It's not bad.
That's a decent one. That's good because I rolled a 1.
It's really scary when the rogue is the tank.
And as expected, Cianthus does not show up. So, you all arrive, greet each other.
Were we meeting at Troll Skull Manor, or are we meeting at the Yawning
You
Portal?
all asked Volo to meet you at the Yawning Portal at midday.
Because we're meeting at Troll Skull tomorrow.
Right. Is he here? Is Volo
You're
here?
meeting. You agreed to meet Renair at Troll Skull tomorrow. 2 days from last night.
Is
You
Volo
met
here?
Volo
yet?
today to meet him to go to a magistrate to sign over the deed, and some members of your group need to get permits,
How much?
residency permits.
How much are those?
That's a good question.
Hey Volo, how much is a
hold on a
residency
second.
permit?
Hold on a second. Let me get my head around what I'm going for. Baracus and Elisar. What were those history checks? 21 and 12. Elisar, what ward do you work in?
Trade.
You do work in the trade ward. Okay. So, yeah, you would have heard of Troll Skull before. You've probably asked about it. You're rather interested in local tales and fare and whatnot, I'm sure. Yes?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is a place you probably would have heard of and then inquired about. There are rumors, of course, that it is haunted. It has been many things over the years. It has been it was operated as an inn at one time. It operated as an orphanage at one time. It operated as a tavern, of course, at one time. There was a point where it was commandeered as a guard post for a period of time. It is a long-standing building. Anytime it tries to reopen, though, it always does well. Like, it always ends up packed. It always ends up being busy. But for one reason or another, it always goes out of business. You know it has never been open since you have been in Waterdeep. With a 21, you know all of that as well, Baracus. When you went in, Baracus, when you were dared to go to Troll Skull, when you went inside, you would have been met with an empty, dusty, clearly old tap room. Tables and broken chairs, everything just covered in cobwebs. The dare would have been for you to spend the night. Moving inside, you would have probably hung out in the tap room for a couple of hours. Do you think you would have ventured elsewhere into the manor?
Yeah, because I ain't no punk bitch.
So from this space, there's a couple side rooms that you can see, but the only place that seems to lead anywhere would be if you were to go behind the bar and then go back into what appears to be a kitchen area. So as you move back in that direction, as soon as you approach to pass behind the bar, I need you to give me a dexterity saving throw.
21.
You, out of the corner of your eye, see the drop down part, like the drop down part of a bar top for like the staff to get through. You see it start to slam down on top of you, and you're able to jump backwards out of the way. Once you do, tables and chairs, one at a time, begin being flung by an unseen force in your direction. What do you do?
Get the fuck out.
Give me a athletics or acrobatics check to try to dodge, to either dodge your way or just sprint your way to the front door. 15 in acrobatics. You are able to dodge these broken shards of wood, chair legs, planks of a hard-top table. Again, just all soaring at you as you manage to jump or get to the front door and get out. You can hear many items bang up against the door as you slam it behind you. Elisar, with a 21 in history, an additional few things that you know. You already knew the story about where the tavern got its name. It was allegedly opened by a famous adventurer whose name has been lost to time. But the reason it is remembered that he was an adventurer is because hanging above and behind the bar was the skull of a giant-sized troll. And it was named the Troll Skull Tavern. You also know that the orphanage was shut down because it was found out, or it is rumored, that the old woman that ran the orphanage was eating the children.
When this place was an orphanage, that's why
when it was an orphanage, yes. You know, the last attempt at reopening it was again as a tavern, which again, it was open for a very short period of time before it fell closed again.
So is Volo here yet? Nope. Like is.
Yeah, Volo. Oh. Volo walks in, looks about, and waves as he approaches all of you. Well, shall we get on with it then?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Give me just a moment. There's a map I'm looking for. I found it.
Do you ever tell us how much the residency papers cost?
I can find that out for you.
Are we assuming that we just got it taken care of at the beginning?
Say that again, DeMeo.
Are we saying that we got that got that taken care of at the beginning of this whole conversation?
The residency papers?
Yeah.
If your character would not have had them yet, this is going to be the time to take care of it.
Right.
Chris, Elisar, Baracus, and Ciendathus all already have permits. I think it's safe to say that it's been established they've all three been in Waterdeep at least for a while. I don't think it's really been disclosed yet how long you have been in Waterdeep, and whether you... How long do you think Demea has been in Waterdeep?
Like collectively, because she comes and goes, so at one time, not very long.
So you probably have a dock worker's permit. It's expected that sometimes you're in town for a few days. You probably have to get it renewed yearly at the reopening of the port. And it probably has the one of the dock ward magistrate signatures, and it's probably a special type of permit that also has your captain's signature on it, because it has to be endorsed by a captain to be legal. So that it's not, people just don't go get it. It's basically a travel visa or a work visa. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that is what you have, and that would be good. You know that is going to be good until the end of winter, when the bay unfreezes and they start issuing out new permits for the year. So you would think that if you are planning on staying, or if you think you are not planning on renewing that type of visa at the renewing or at the reopening of the bay, this would be a good time to go ahead and get a residency permit.
Okay.
Cool?
Yep.
Cool. Okay. I want to do. Volo does tell you, sorry, and the rest of you would know that there's actually no cost for the permit.
There we go.
Sorry, there's no cost for the permits. It's like an ID. Like it's just issued by the city.
Okay.
So Volo will tell you, or he's actually going to ask you in what district you are going to register. So he would explain and advise that you need to have your permit signed by the magister. If you're getting a residency permit or a temporary permit, you need to have it signed by the magister of wherever you are staying. The city watch post that oversees that district of the city.
I'll probably get it done at the North Ward, because that is where our property is going to be.
Okay. What about you, Demea?
I will do the same. I'll do the North Ward.
Okay. So he says, perfect. We'll be able to see the same magister for your permits as well as the transfer of the deed. So from the, let's see, from the yawning portal down here in the castle ward, Volo leads you out over here onto Snail Street, and then walks you up between the trade and Castle Ward up to the high road, where you take the high road up north past the market, which is a huge outdoor marketplace, just surrounded and full of stalls and merchants. Again, it is midday, so this is a very bustling area of the city at the moment. But again, it's busy for a winter day. Keeping that in mind. So, of course, shops are open year-round because the people of the city that live here do still need to eat and whatnot. So there's definitely foot traffic. But Baracus Elisar, you're reminded of a warm summer day festivals where it's literally shoulder to shoulder and you can barely make it through this part of town. You continue north, and after a certain point, let's see. Yep. Okay, you are taken. Let's see. I appreciate your patience as I learn how to use multiple things at once. There we go. Do. Okay, so once he gets you up to Delzorin Street and the high road, you turn down Delzorin and come over to... Or no, actually, I take that back. You actually turn down here on Solmer and come over to... Alsabrand Street. This building here on the corner of Solmer and Alsabrand has is bannered with the typical color of the City Watch, the yellow and purple. This is where I don't know what's wrong with me at the moment. You can tell that this is the local City Watch post. Volo ushers you inside, where you are greeted by a halfling in the typical guard. Their little helmet. He is sitting up on a high stool behind a counter. Oh yes, what can I do for you all today?
Hello. We need to do a transfer of property as well as a couple residency permits.
Oh, I'm sure we can take care of all that for you. Have you already filled out the a transfer form? Oh yeah. Well, yes, of course. Volo pulls out a piece of paper, which I believe I have already shared with you guys. Did that work? Did you guys get that?
No.
Handout.
Manner transfer, yeah.
Yes. She takes it. Yes. Yeah, this looks right. Oh, no, I see the seller signed it, but none of you have signed. They'll be put the date here. Hands it back to you all. I need all of you to sign this as the assignees. I'm assuming you all take it to sign.
Yeah, I hesitate a little, then I sign it.
Mm-hmm.
Does everybody sign?
Yeah.
Yep.
Baracus?
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Okay. She takes it back. Okay, well, the halfling reads through the document again, makes it all the way down to the bottom, and you can see her little halfling eyes go wide. She looks at the parchment, looks around, and looks desperately at all of your faces, and eventually just stops on Volo's. And you didn't think so, but her eyes go even wider, like her eyes are trying to jump out of her head and crawl over to this man. Mr. Godard, yes, this looks just right. Now I'll need the rest of you to sign this in front of the magister, but Mr. Godard, I need you to sign this as well. She pushes a piece. She starts fumbling around on the desk for a piece of a scrap piece of parchment, clearly just trying to find something to get him to sign, so she can take home an autograph of the famous Volo Godard. After a few minutes, Volo heartily, oh yes, of course, anything for a fan, and he goes up and in large swooping hand signs a piece of parchment for the excited halfling.
Sorry.
After a few moments, you should be. After a few moments, the halfling leads you back into a side chamber and asks you to wait. A few minutes later, a magister comes in. A friendly-looking dwarf enters, introduces themselves as Hayden Littlefoot, and proceeds with the paperwork. Basically, he looks over the transfer of ownership paperwork, looks it over, says, yes, this looks good. I need all of you to sign here at the bottom. So earlier outside, you all printed your names in the area above. He witnesses you sign the bottom. After that, he pulls out another piece of paper, signs the bottom, scrawls your all's name on the deed, hands you all a new deed for the property that actually now shows you all as the owners of Troll Skull Manor, as well as issues Tennyson and DeMea permanent residency permits at that address. Now, the thing that he explains to you is there is no charge for the permit, but on the first of every month, a tax collector will be by this address to collect your monthly taxes.
Which would amount to?
They will tell you, I will tell you by the first of next month. He tells you what it is now in character.
Yeah.
I will let Meech know by the first of next month. Today is the 3rd of Alturiac. I started on the 2nd for a reason.
That's fair.
So, you all get your paperwork done, head out, and from there, Volo ushers you up toward Seardune Street, up toward the intersection with Wagaland Way, and then across the intersection where Thunderstaff tees with Seardune, and points you toward an entryway there toward the south. As he points into and shows you Troll Skull Alley. And right on the corner of Troll Skull Alley is your manor, right here, with opening towards Seardune and the alleyway. You all get your first look at Troll Skull Manor.
Ooh.
Wow.
Awesome.
It was all
Like
worth it.
a bit of a fixer-upper, but, you know.
You know, yeah. A little bit
As you all
some DIY.
take this site in, it takes all of you a moment to realize that Volo is now 100 yards down the street at the corner of Windborn, waving, "Good luck, I hope to see you soon," as he runs out of view.
You little shit.
Sounds about right.
Right? Leaves us, baits us in with all this 100 gold, and then he gives us this place to take care of. I mean, I appreciate him giving us something in return for efforts, and I guess real estate is pretty pricey, especially. I mean, North Ward is not shabby, but it's not exactly what I had in mind.
Are you saying that it's free real estate?
It is indeed free real estate.
It's free real estate.
But I just don't know. It seems like a lot of work, and
And if it all goes to pot, we burn it and sell the property.
I mean, I've heard, and I tell
Keep
them
up on
about
the
the stories.
insurance.
I've heard to Tennyson and Demaya, I tell them about the stories of it being haunted, which I've never actually been here, but I mean, looking at it, I can see why I would get those kind of stories, and they're probably true.
I think we should lean into it, to be honest. I feel like that would be kind of fun to maybe open up something geared toward that.
It's also a long ways up here for me. I mean, I kind of live in the south or southern part of Undercliff, and like the shop I work at's on all the trades board, so coming up here would be quite the hike.
You can move in.
Could.
Just some
I mean-
FYI, if you take kind of a look around the surrounding areas, it's a mixture of shops and housing. It actually seems to be a pretty nice neighborhood, kind of upper middle class, and the surrounding streets. You do see a couple people moving. It does seem that there is some motion in the alleyway. I'm assuming you guys are kind of still out here on the corner of the main street. But looking around again, it's probably early afternoon at this point. But again, we are in winter, so there isn't a whole lot of movement on the streets. Just people milling about, maybe some people taking some lunch breaks. Those of you who live in the city know that the biggest bustle of activity on the streets are when the servants and workers who live in other parts of the city head toward the estates of nobles or the shops that they run during the day, and then that same influx out later in the day. So midday, especially on a winter day, is terribly busy. But you are happy to see there is movement in the alleyway. So it does seem even during this winter that there is some motion going on. And I do have some things. I think I have more things. Oh, I do. I do have things for you.
Yeah, I'm kind of doing that like walk
what are you
around.
guys doing?
Yeah, I'm doing like the walk around thing where I'm like appraising the building. I don't know anything about buildings, but I'm looking at it real hard, going, yeah.
Yeah.
So, Tennis, are you planning on sticking around to live here then? I guess I saw you got. I noticed you got the papers registered here. So what you're gonna try to do?
They were giving me a pretty hard time for not having the papers, and it didn't cost anything, so it doesn't hurt for the moment.
True.
Oh god.
I see a black screen. Oh, that's probably intentional.
I no longer see a black screen.
Welcome to Troll Skull Alley. This is Troll Skull Manor.
So the alley is all like along
So
that.
the kind of this space back here is the alley.
Gotcha.
So this is a main road. This is a main road of the city. And this is all kind of an alleyway tucked back behind these buildings. So this building is 4 stories tall, boasting balconies, a turret, and if you kind of take a look around them, 5 chimneys. This was definitely the grandest building in Troll Skull Alley at one time. It is fallen into disrepair, and it is just heartbreaking to see. Boards cover most of the windows and doors. You can see that the roof needs work. Most of the windows are broken and boarded over. You do see that there are 2 ravens perched on the 2nd floor balcony. They kind of look lazily at you as you walk up. There is a small deck along the front. On the right side, there's a wide door, red paint peeling off. It's not boarded up. The 1st floor looks like it was a tavern. Broken tables and chairs litter the floor that you can see inside a big grand front window. And give me just a moment. Okay. Weird. Okay. So, give me just a moment, please. I can show you. Can everybody see that?
Yes.
Cool. So that is what the outside of the building looks like. If you take a look, go and take a look around. So again, the northwest corner of the building is rounded and turreted up to a peak. It itself is many stories tall. Are you kidding me? Hold, please.
He just tied his hair in a knot.
Nope, I don't think that's what it is. I think it's... Yup. Tech.
Ah.
Ooh.
Alright, we're good. I went camping on Friday, FYI. So that's where that came from. Yeah, turret in the northwest corner here. Again, just massive building. Did I ever figure out how to get this to work? Oh, I have to hit escape. There we go. There we go. Now that's a turret. Now it's rounded. So the turret is facing out towards Seardoon Street, that main thoroughfare. What appears to be a couple front entrances to the place. There is a door here into the turret area. There is this long deck that faces out into the alley entrance that has a doorway also into the turret area. This is the door that is not boarded up, that has red peeling paint. You can see through these big front windows that it just appears dusty and cobwebbed inside. Anyone that looks around the corner will also see that there is a doorway into the alley as well. If you would have seen this staircase here as you were coming across Seardoon, and you would see that that leads up to a doorway on the second floor.
Huh.
So should we go in? Seems kind of. I mean, you said we wait for radar, but I mean,
Right.
we did just get this house. Kind of want to check it out.
Yeah, I guess. Still not entirely convinced.
No, me either. But if there's any way we can turn it into something valuable, it'd be nice to get a start on it.
Yeah, let's go in and take a look around. I like my lantern because it looks dark inside. Are there sconces on the walls or anything? I assume they're all dried up.
You said you're approaching the head inside? As you get up and walk up toward the building, through the wood slats in the windows, you can actually see that there appears to be some movement inside.
Oh boy. Squatters.
Or creatures.
Let's hope it's just squatters.
I guess I'll just go up and knock on the door.
Okay. You go up and knock on the door, and it swings open on rusty, creaky hinges. From this view, you can absolutely tell that this place used to be a tavern. You look in, and there is a wall and a bit of an entryway immediately in front of you. And from this angle, you can see pretty much most of the rest of this floor. You can see a bar top along the southern side. You can see, again, tables and chairs scattered about. A hearth off to the side with an L-shaped bar. Again, everything covered in dust, some footprints and scuff marks. Anything that would move through this place would leave a trail. Whether you'd be able to follow it or not is a different question. And give me a perception check.
Everyone?
Just Tennyson, because he is standing in the doorway.
17.
17. You see 3 what looks like children. You see, let me rephrase that. You see 2 children scuttle off and hide behind a table and the bar top. Behind the table off to the left, you see a young, dark-skinned, portly boy. Probably looks about 7 or 8, in yellow robes, ducking behind a table. To your right, behind the bar, you see a preteen, probably 12, 13-year-old, fair-skinned young girl with fire red hair duck behind the corner of the bar. And then...
These are humans, right?
Yes.
Okay.
The final figure that you see is not hiding. Standing atop the remains of a broken grand chair, standing across the bar from you, is a very thin, a very thin boy of 10 with light red skin, a wiry red tail, dressed like a pirate with a bright yellow cap, a large feather sticking in it, and an eye patch that doesn't quite fit, that is hanging lazily under his right eye. Lifts a small toy bow at you, pulls back, and points it a small stick on a string at you. What do you do?
I kind of just like look back at the rest of the party. Then I look at the kid. I put my hands in the air and I go, permission to board, Captain?
He lowers his bow, stands straight up at attention, kind of gives you a look over, and puts the arrow away, brings his hand up into a salute. Permission granted, sailor!
I give him a salute back.
And I'm assuming you walk in?
Cautiously, just giving enough room for everyone else to enter.
Okay. You walk, does everybody else follow?
Yeah.
You walk in, and here, let me go ahead and let you guys...
The house came with children.
play.
Oh.
I need to resize them, hold on.
We are giants!
What is this?
Or the bar
What
is
is this,
tiny.
a manor for ants?
And if this is only here in spirit. All right, do what you guys want.
Yeah, I just come in and lean against the bar.
All right, so the rest of you now walk in and you see this same scene. You all, after a moment, the young portly boy steps out from behind the table, and you can see that he is clutching a dirty, ratted, stuffed toy that looks like a little stuffed owl bear. And the young girl steps out very confidently, shoulders back, kind of head tilted up forward, looking up all of you in the eyes as she's holding a little toy, wooden toy sword. Welcome aboard, team!
Wow.
Baracus, you actually recognize these kids.
Okay, I was gonna ask.
You may not know them, but you've seen them around town before. You know that they are orphans. And they just kind of roll with you know that they are fellow orphans, that you're not sure where they live, but you've definitely seen them around before.
Gotcha. So I'm not necessarily having interactions with them where they would recognize me.
Probably not.
All right. I don't know what to do.
Yeah, I don't really have much.
Welcome to the SS Troll Skull.
The SS Troll Skull.
Why are you guys here? What are you doing in our ship?
Should we just commandeer it?
No.
The young portly boy shows up. Are you guys here to play with us?
So do we know that they belong to an orphanage? And
you don't know.
Okay.
I'll say, yeah, we're here to play. Do you guys, do you live on this ship? I'll walk towards the one with the hat.
The tiefling pops. The tiefling chimes up. Of course, a captain lives on his ship. Where else would he live?
I'll say,
Did you say that you approach?
Yeah.
As you approach, the young girl actually steps over and steps in between you and the boys and kind of lifts her sword up a little bit. Doesn't say or does not say anything to you, but kind of gives them a look, and then with her free hand kind of like flashes them some hand signals.
Do I recognize those hand signals as any form of communication?
I will say, since you know thieves can't, you can tell that this is some form of sign language, but it is not one that you recognize. It's almost like one that they made up. You see the young portly boy kind of flash a few signals back. After a few exchanges between them, the tiefling goes, "Oh, come on, guys! They said they were here to play. Why can't we just play?" The red-haired girl kind of shoots him a very stern, fierce look as she turns back to all of you. The youngest of them, the one holding the bear, turns to all of you and says, Are you all really here to play with us?
I kind of look around and shrug and I don't know.
Sure. What do you guys want to play?
I'm just confused as to how this is going to play out if we just like sit here and play with the children.
Well, I said sure. What do you guys want to play?
We were playing pirates. That's Squidly's favorite. His name's Squidly. He's pointing up at the tiefling boy who puts his hands, his fists on his hips and stands further up on the table and kind of gives a bit of a Captain Morgan pose. with clearly much oversized leather boots that he clearly nickered from somebody. And he the youngest boy says, and my name's Jinx, and this is Nat. She can't hear or talk. She can kind of read lips sometimes, but other than that, we have to use our hand signals to talk to each other. But anyway, you asked about what we were playing. We're playing pirates.
That sounds like.
I look around at the rest of the kids. I look around at the rest of the kids, and what are your names?
So, Jinx introduced himself. Jinx introduced the tiefling as Squidly.
Oh, Squidly.
And he introduced the red-haired girl, who looks to be the oldest of them, as Nat.
Okay, but not the portly boy with the...
That's who was
yellow.
talking to you.
Oh, so that's Jinx.
That's Jinx.
I'm real good at names.
Dark skin, portly, 7 or 8.
For some reason, I thought there were 4 kids. There's 3 kids.
He's portly. He's carrying the stuffed owl bear.
Mm-hmm.
There's the pirate, tiefling, about 10, fake bow and arrow, eye patch. That's Squidly. Tall, lanky, 12, 13, glasses, or not glasses, fake sword, long red hair.
I convey to the rest of the party that I've at least seen these kids before, so they're not ghosts.
There's some fun artwork of them overlooking the city.
Adorable.
I asked them if there have been any issues that they've been having on their ship.
It's interesting that the illustration has her with black hair.
I'm saying it's red.
Oh, okay. That's fine then.
It's red in this universe.
Cool.
Cool. Good talk. Welcome back to talk. So,
Billy, did you hear? I asked if they were having any issues on their ship. There were problems.
that's what I was getting ready to answer.
On board.
Jinx, Squidly turns to you. There are no issues on the SS Troll Skull. Tip top, top of the middle. Jinx kind of looks at him exasperatedly, and shyly speaks up. Well, sometimes Leaf does things. At that moment, a beer stein from behind the bar shoots out and smashes against the far wall.
What was that?
Uh-huh. Is that Leaf?
That was probably, yeah.
Like Leaf, like Leaf? Leaf?
At the mention of that name, another beer stein goes flying out across the room.
I try and catch this one.
Give me a dexterity saving throw.
It'd be a fun place to own.
9. I just took a beer stein to the dome.
You are not able to catch it.
Can I investigate where the beer steins flew?
They're kind of landing over here.
No, sorry, no, where they came from.
They're coming from back here, from behind the bar.
Yeah, can I walk around and investigate?
Okay.
Jumped out of the building.
You come around.
Kool-Aid Man.
Give me a dexterity saving throw.
Boy.
Happened to you before.
15.
In a fit of deja vu, as you try to pass behind the bar, the hinged bar top slams down towards you, but you are able to back out of the way just in time. Squidly chimes up. Now you said you were going to play nice this time! clearly talking to whatever it is that is acting up.
We're on a haunted
Jinx
pirate
says,
ship in the middle
we
of a
play
city.
here. We like to come here every so often. Sometimes he's in a good mood. I don't think he's in a good mood today.
What is he?
I don't know. We don't know. You look like you're magic. Do you know?
I don't know, do I?
I would like to. I mean, I would like to ritual cast detect magic.
That takes
11 minutes.
11 minutes.
Yes.
Okay.
But normally, I like turn towards the kids. Normally, Leaf plays nice. There's normally Leaf.
Squidly speaks up.
So
Yeah,
at 10
sometimes he
minutes.
plays along. He must be grumpy again today. And he kind of gives a dejected look.
I'm gonna ask Squidly, do you talk to Leaf? Is that his name, or does he speak?
Oh no, he doesn't speak. Sometimes we can see him, and those are really fun days when he comes out and plays with us. Those are the best. Sometimes, but yeah, he does that a lot. Not really a lot, just sometimes. Maybe not sometimes. Maybe a lot. Anyway, yeah, so he plays with us sometimes. We've actually taught him our sign language, so when he does come out and play, he can really play with us because we can talk to him, but then sometimes we just have him draw in the dust.
Is he your age, or is he our age?
Oh, no, he looks like that. And Squidly points up to back behind the bar top, and there is a large painting with a group of folks. On the painting, there is a kind of middle-aged half-elf man, kind of shoulder-length blondish hair. There is a large, burly human, kind of with the look of a barbarian to him. And then a very beautiful human woman. And then they are surrounded by 4 children, all human, mix of genders and young ages. And the kids tell you that Leaf looks just like the half-elf in that painting.
How old is that painting?
Taking a look. Give me, if you go over and take a look at it, give me an investigation check.
I'm trying to. Yeah, all right. I'll go over. 22.
22?
Yeah.
Taking a look at it, it is, again, very covered in dust. It looks like it's not as covered in as many layers as the rest of the place. It seems like this is something that you can tell it's kind of been wiped down with somebody's hand every once in a while over the years. So you would say it probably looks about, with 22, probably about 10 years old.
But not as old as this building.
No, not as old as the building, no.
I go over to where the steins were smashed. Are they just hitting the back wall? Are they still good condition?
The back wall broke.
They're all broken.
They have at this point added to the litter that is filling this room.
I'll start cleaning them up.
I'm gonna ask Squidly, does anyone else come and play with you, or is it just Leaf?
Oh no, it's just Leaf. Every once in a while, some people come in here and try to, get out on sometimes people get dared to come in here because it is haunted because Leaf, but Leaf's our friend, he doesn't haunt us, but sometimes he's grumpy. But anyway, sometimes people do get dared to come in here, and if we're in here when they do, sometimes we help Leaf out and try to scare them, and it's a lot of fun.
Squidly has volume issues.
Yeah.
FYI, I am freaking my dog the fuck out. It's okay, Beanie. I'm okay. I'm okay. Hi. Finley just passed out behind me, not caring at all.
Is there?
Beanie's in the other room, like, what is wrong?
Is there? There. You said there's a hearth in here.
Yes, there is. The hearth is in this room.
Is it here?
Yeah, that looks exactly like it. That looks like a hearth.
All right.
Yeah, the front of that is where the fire opens. Yeah, that's absolutely the hearth. Good job.
I'm the
You
perceptive.
solved my hearth puzzle.
There you go. Yeah, I'm gonna go inspect that real quick. Make sure the chimney's clear, the flue opens, all that.
You take a look. The hearth itself appears to be in physically good shape. You don't see any cracking or anything. Of course, it's dirty and covered in dust, as everything else. If you stick your head inside, the chimney does appear to be clogged. And taking a look around inside of the hearth, it does appear it is covered in a thick black soot. Not just the dust, the rest of the areas, which gives you the inclination that the chimney's clogged and it's been clogged for a bit.
Annoying.
Can I cast Firebolt up the chimney?
You could try couple things.
Yay, creosote fire. Let's go.
That'll clean it really well.
We'll clean the shit out of it.
Is that a serious question?
I mean, I was thinking about it.
Okay.
Can anyone press to digitate?
With it, taking a look, one, I don't think any of you can. And this isn't something prestidigitation. This is thick black soot. You think most likely you're going to need to hire somebody from the Chimney Sweepers Guild to come out and take care of this.
I mean, that can't be too expensive, though. I mean, I was thinking about making a fire to throw all the excess stuff or just burning up all the garbage that as we clean it out.
So taking a look around this room, couple other details that you notice. The central of the three front windows, the glass is broken. The other two appear to be intact. All of the light fixtures, window sconces are broken. Back behind the bar, no one hasn't quite gotten all the way back there, but there is a keg sitting back there covered in dust. There is...
The illustration looks like there's a trapdoor. Can I look behind the bar? Or my meta?
I'll get to that.
I never saw Baracus again.
Actually, no, that is actually all that you see here in this room. Again, broken tables and chairs scattered about. Yeah. So, Baracus, you're going behind the bar?
I will climb over the bar rather than try to,
open it?
Yeah. Or no, I can crawl under. That makes more sense.
Yeah, you crawl under. As you're crawling under, you realize that the floor appears to almost be rotting out. As you get to the other side and stand up, you can see that whoever left this barrel back here, it ended up leaking onto the floor, and there seems to be some water damage to the floor back here. But to your point, you do see a trap door underneath that appears to lead down, as well as another space back this way. You can also see now that you are right up to it as well. As you pass by the painting that Tennyson was inspecting, you can also see that next to it, on the bar side of it, there is a plaque that's been covered in dust.
I wipe off the plaque.
It says employee of the 10-day Leaf.
Oh.
You see that? Looking back toward this area, it appears to be what was a pantry, but even more of a mess than the tap room. It looks like mice and rats have gotten into everything. There's just droppings everywhere, food strewn all about. The cabinets appear to be in good shape, but it needs some major cleaning. And then, of course, you also see, well, not necessarily, of course, but you also see that there is another doorway back here leading into another space.
Detect magic ever finish?
Oh, yeah, so by about this time, Tennyson inspecting the chimney, Eddie doing this. You're casting. Demea, what are you doing during this time?
I'm just walking around, I guess, like kind of talking to the kids and trying to get more information about the ins and outs of here.
Okay. So again, Nat tries to keep keep herself interposed between you and the boys. She seems to be very protective of the two. So I feel like she's probably going to be the one you probably are going to need to kind of interact with first if you're trying to push the other two to kind of keep talking.
She can't hear, correct? It's not like she's mute.
She told Jinx told you that as far as they know, she cannot hear or talk. They've never heard her talk. And they have a special sign language, but Abby, when you try to talk to Jinx again, she just kind of steps in the way. But Jinx is just like, Nat, Jinx speaks up. Nat, they seem, or he kind of waves at her and flashes her a few hand signals. Nat's just protective. She's just, you guys just kind of you snuck up on us is all.
Well,
so what are I don't think you guys really came here just to play with us.
Well, I mean, we're sorry for sneaking up on you and scaring you guys, but we don't mean any harm. We're not here to hurt you guys or anything like that. Can you relay that to Nat?
Jinx kind of turns to Nat and gives her a few hand signals.
So, and I'll introduce. My name's Demea. If you want to signal that to her as well, so she can know my name.
Jinx. Oh, it's so nice to meet you, Demea. What kind of instrument are you carrying again?
I'm carrying a flute.
A flute? Okay. How do you carry that? Is that
just like?
Is that just hanging on your belt?
It's like, yeah, it's attached to my side.
Oh, okay. Just curious. And then, so you're chit-chatting with the kids. Squidly does come over after a few minutes. You're chit-chatting with them. So, oh, do you know how to play that flute?
I do. Do you want to hear some music?
Yeah, I would love to hear some music, Jinx speaks up. Oh, could you? That'd be amazing.
So I'll play my flute, I guess, a fun little jig.
A fun little jig. Baracus, or right around this time, Elisar, your detect magic activates. You hum around, and you actually detect not from anything inside of here. You don't necessarily detect anything inside of this room, but from the doorway back out of behind the bar here, you detect some magical presence behind there, which is very surprising to you, because you would know with this spell, you wouldn't expect to necessarily send something through walls and whatnot. but you can tell that there is some magical presence on the other side of this wall.
I would probably, I guess, go underneath climb underneath the bar and go up to that wall.
Okay.
Like right
And
here.
you detect the presence on the you detect somewhere on the other side of this door there is a substantial magical presence.
Taking the school of magic.
It actually does not appear to be associated with the school.
Oh, that's weird. There's no windows like on this side of the
Not
building.
from this direction, no.
Is there firewalls?
I kind of like tap on Brachus' shoulder and kind of like point at the door, and I want to like open it and peek through it. Is that so? Did I see this out? Did I see this? Like, does this door lead out to like the alley?
You'd think so, based on what you saw outside. If you guys went around that corner to look.
Yeah. Then I would just go ahead and open the door then.
Okay. You open the door, and it does in fact lead outside. What you see is a small little kind of courtyard area. Again, if we go back and take a look here, you see kind of this little courtyard area between these three buildings. And there is this energy that you were sensing is coming from just this spot. There seems to be just some sort of fount of raw magical energy coming from this little courtyard, the center of it.
So I kind of like motion for people to follow, and then I walk out there.
I mean, could it be coming from like underground, like a basement? There's a trapdoor to what I assume is a beer cellar behind the
Can I tell if it's like underground, or is it like kind of the middle of?
You kind of aim your detect magic in that direction, and it does not seem. Alisar, give me a Arcana check with advantage.
Perfect.
So, basically, since you have detect magic out, you are not able to zero in on any particular one source. You are not unfamiliar with what this is, though. This appears to be a magical fount of some kind that you probably would have encountered something like this before back home. This appears to be where a natural source of magical energies that can. These tend to be found all over Faerun. Some of them are at the intersection of ley lines. Some of them are sometimes a rip like this can open up, say, where like a god fell or a powerful demon is banished. And then these founts can be turned into mythals or giant, which are basically giant enchantments. They can be turned into permanent portals. They can be used to their energies can be harnessed in a lot of different ways.
So do I think it's weird that like that hasn't happened in such a big city yet?
The more you pay attention to this, you can tell that it has already been tapped into by something. And the more and more you focus your detect magic on this fount, you can tell that it has been, that it has previously been connected to some sort of fell and evil energies. And that is where we are going to end today.
Bum, bum, bum.
So, thank you very much for joining us for session 4 of our campaign. Again, this is Downstairs Den&D, where we play Dungeons and Dragons in the den downstairs. It's not a basement. Again, thank you for anyone that joined us today or are watching us later on YouTube. If you don't mind, give us a like, subscribe, check us out almost every Sunday from noon to 5 p.m. Eastern Time. And always check us out on YouTube at Downstairs D&D. Bye, everybody.
Did we mention Sirens?
Oh, yeah. Sound provided by Sirenscape, sirenscape.com. Epic games require epic music.
Bye.
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 Okay, we're out.